Well, if you didn't catch our other video with Australia, um, situations with X, how Amon Grant is trying to push for censorship of porn and other freedom of speech issues there, that she wants to block a lot of stuff there, not geo-block it. Well, we have another story here from another country. And, I said this before, there are many countries that want to push for censorship of the internet for their reasons. And one of them is religion. Understand that. You know that, like Morality and Media, NOSC, they happen to be run under the religious banner. Basically, I think it's a little bit of a mix of Mormon and Christian on there, because the Mormons in Utah, they were one of the first to put age verification, and they've been trying to push further that law into effect throughout the country. And you've seen that they've done copycat laws from state to state. That's not original. That it's basically the same law pushed from state to state. One thing about when you look at laws that are that when it doesn't come down from the federal level, it comes to the state level. Each of these states, they create their own, because you have a different population. But first of all, you must go by what the people want. I don't think the people want something like this. And I think in Malaysia, I think it's the same thing too. But understand, when it comes to stuff like this in Malaysia, note that Malaysia is they believe in Islam. It's a Muslim country. Most people don't realize that. You've had people have gone there for shows, comedians and all that, and they couldn't do certain material there because the government wouldn't allow them. They wouldn't allow them at all. One comedian comes to mind, that's Jeff Dunham. If you've seen his comedy routines, they're fantastic. He's one. Him and Gabriel Iglesias are like the top, and Dave Chappelle, they're like the top comedians around the world these days. Jeff Dunham, he does that bit with Ahmed, the dead terrorist. Now, the Malaysian government wouldn't allow him to do that bit in their country.
Contacted by the Malaysian Ministry of Arts and History and Culture. And they asked me very nicely and sternly to not bring a certain character to the show tonight. They even said, please do not even mention his name. But I know that you people are here because you've seen stuff on YouTube and you're expecting to see a certain someone. However, I want to respect the requests because I'm a guest here, but at the same time, you paid your money to see what you thought you were going to see.
Meanwhile, other Muslim countries allowed it. Goes to show you the differences on there. When they talk about when you go country to country in the Muslim world, that they pretty much think the same. No, they're pretty much, you could say that they're different clans. Different groups, even though they'll follow the Muslim religion, but they're different groups, and they generally don't think the same. That's the same thing what's going on with, I don't want to go into it, with the Israeli situation on there. You have another group, the Palestinians, that, someone said they're different groups within different clans within there. They have different ideologies when it comes down to it. But in this case, when in the Malaysian government, and this is off of XBiz, Malaysian government says X remove adult content at their request.
Really?
Actually, they probably just geo-blocked it, because there's plenty of porn on X. I hate to say that, but I've said this in the past. When you look at Facebook, you look at X, you look at Instagram, there's plenty of nudity and pornography on there. So let's read into this. In Malaysia's Deputy Communications Minister Tay Nay Shing told Parliament on Monday that the country's Communications and Multimedia Commission has worked with X to remove pornographic content from the platform known as Twitter. They probably just, like I said, they probably just blocked it. It's like YouTube when you can't get a particular type of video that's geo-locked from certain countries. Teo told legislators that the MCMC has blocked 549 pornographic websites and 69 full-service sex-related websites since January 1st, Singapore's The Star newspaper reported. Teo added that the MCMC pressure on various social media companies, including X and Telegram, has resulted in the removal of 308 incidents of pornographic content and 838 cases of prostitution-related content on their platforms. What do they call pornographic and prostitution-related content? You have to think about that for a minute. Think hard. Because people say, it's prostitution. Could have been a swimsuit article. It could have been a swimsuit ad that they'll call pornographic or prostitution. Because, the old saying, sex sells. Because most of these cases, when you hear these cases from these countries, they don't tell you what the particular piece that they block, what it is, where it comes from, who's the company. They'll tell you what site it was exactly on, whether it's X, whether it's Pornhub, what we're talking about there. Continuing on, because this is a short one. The Ministry of Communications, through the MCMC, assists by providing technical support to relevant authorities, including the removal of social media content, blocking of websites, and supplying information and digital forensic analysis to expedite investigations. Teo explained. Aside from that, MCMC takes action under the Communications and Multimedia Act of Malaysia of 1998 if uploaded content is deemed obscene, offensive, false, threatening, or malicious. Again, what do they consider obscene, offensive, false, threatening, or malicious? Remember that. They have a different definition for that. Their definition is not the same definition you would think it would be.
Really?
Teo confirmed that the Malaysian government continues to strengthen its ties with internet companies to implement harmful content monitoring and control initiatives on social media platforms. As XBiz reported, under the ownership of Elon Musk, X has pivoted to a non-absolute approach to free speech. The entrepreneur has stated that X would respect the speech laws of each country so that the platform he purchased in October 22 will not become, and we heard this in the other article, a free-for-all hellscape. See, the thing is, the littlest thing when it comes to Malaysia, when it comes to other countries in Asia, other than Japan, well, even in Japan, there are some situations on that. What they consider pornography, you would never consider as pornography. What they consider as prostitution, obscene, offensive, false, threatening, or malicious would not be the same. Remember, this is a country which 63% worship Islam. Okay? As you heard the stories when it comes to the LGBTQ community, when it comes to women's rights, when it comes to many other rights, you know that that's thrown in the garbage. Because basically, it's their way or the highway when it comes to these religious zealots that basically take control of these governments. Now, I'm all for religion and all that and respect everyone's religion onto the whole situation. But when it comes down to murder, when it comes down to situations where basically someone's freedom is taken away from them because of their beliefs, that is wrong. That is totally wrong. And this is still this is 2024 and it's still happening to this day. And it's not only in Malaysia. You hear this from Russia. You hear this from Africa. You hear this from India. A lot of this stuff still happens, especially in third world countries. Things haven't changed much. There have been many wars in between this, and what happens is that the victor that's come out has rewritten the history and is taking control of what freedoms are in this country. Specifically in Malaysia, like I said, there are things you can't do. You can't do like a bikini layout in Malaysia. They consider that very offensive. Talk about sex talk about freedom, sex health or anything of that nature. They consider that obscene. Back in the my public access days, there was a big fight by a couple of people in the adult industry and the LGBTQ community, or what we used to call the gay community back then. We had the gay cable channel, which basically, they talked about sex health, especially since in the 80s and to the 90s, you had the AIDS crisis going on, and especially hurt in the gay community itself. That a lot of people fell ill in the gay community, and it's not that it was a gay disease; it was a sexually transmitted disease. And basically, you had situations where groups like this tried to express themselves, and people called it pornography. Sex health, pornography. That's what they called it, you know. But what they were trying to do is they're trying to give out a message to the community, to assist with the community. But now, you have situations where if even in this day and age, you try to assist properly, even by those in the industry, in the medical industry, you're deemed false information, life-threatening, malicious, obscene to that nature. But now, what if you go pre-COVID and post, these people were right. They were correctly right, and they still have not acknowledged them properly. So think about something like that happening still to this day in Malaysia, that it's been happening since the 90s. What kind of hell, what kind of hellscape as far as freedom of speech is in Malaysia. It's freedom of speech, but it's always that way. It's freedom of speech, but you can't do this, you can't do that. That's not freedom. That's limiting freedoms. That's why we've lasted this long. Because we wrote a constitution that properly adjusts to the time frame that we're in. It's such a almost perfect piece of paper on there. And it should be cherished and respected. And people don't. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts about this. Let me know what you think about the thoughts on the Malaysian government and what's been going on around the world on there. Be sure to check out our video on the Australian versus X on there as well. Don't forget to share this video, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. So until next time, thank you for the support. We'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for watching, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, as this helps the reach of this channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help support this channel, as new internet laws around the world will diminish our reach and affect our sponsors. If you choose to help, there are two ways listed in the description below. The first link will lead you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will lead you to our gear shop, where you can buy shirts, mugs, and other gear. Discounts will be listed on the site. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.